KKR fans, please look away. Well, just joking. I have Sandipani with me over here. We're going to be talking about that game which just got over. It's been quite a while because I never expected the game to get this over very early. They got all out in 14 overs, and of course, you know what happened. They lost by 74 runs, a huge margin, a thumping defeat, which was handed over to KKR by the Lucknow Super Giants. And Lucknow Super Giants are now flying very high. And for KKR, their tournament is looking very grim at this very point. I have Sandipani joining me to talk about it. And of course, later on the show, we'll be talking about the game which got over in the afternoon, which was played between Punjab Kings and Rajasthan Royals as well. Sandipani, I'll get to you because you are a passionate fan of KKR. And before we go into a fan's perspective, let's analyze this game. What did KKR do wrong? Because the questions are the same. Opening not clicking yet again. Aaron Finch, he's not yet delivered you any match winning performance. Baba Indrajit, I don't know why was that experiment even tried when you have a Sheldon Jackson who opens the innings in domestic levels, and Venkatesh Iyer and Varun Chakra, the two retained players, are dropped to the squad. Where do you reckon it all went wrong for KKR today?
I mean, you pretty much summed it up. Baba Indrajit in the last game. After that last game, I said that both Baba Indrajit and Aaron Finch has not looked good. Like if you
Yeah,
want to continue with one of the if you want to stay consistent and keep the same playing 11, at least stick to the players who have been performing for you guys. And it's not just performing. The Finch has just looked out of form. He has rarely middled anything. He is just getting those edges, not being able to connect. Same with Baba Indrajit. I think his career strike rate in T20s is 103. In a game, in a must-win game, when KKR has to win and has to score 177 to win on a deck that is offering something for the Pacers, I think it was a no-brainer to get somebody like a Sunil Narayan in early if you
yeah,
want to continue with Indrajit.
right.
I don't know. I mean, they should have dropped him in the first place because Sheldon Jackson, as you rightly mentioned, got 2 games, came in at number 8 in one of those games. You can't expect your wicketkeeper to come in at number 8 and make a like fruitful contribution for you in a tight crunch game where the required rate is over 12. So I think they could have persisted with someone like a Sam Billings or a Sheldon Jackson instead of two completely out of form players like Finch and Indrajit. Also, I think Umesh Yadav's injury did them nothing good. The only thing that was going for
Do
them
you
was the power
reckon
play
that
overs.
let's talk about the bowling now? Do you reckon
Yeah,
175 was the par total in this ground? Because we've seen with Pune that some of the scores have been very low, which the teams have defended. For example, that 145 which Rajasthan defended against the Royal Challengers. Lucknow Super Giants defended 150 odd against Punjab Kings in the same venue. The last game when RCB played Chennai, they defended the mere score of 175, the same score almost. You reckon 175 is a par score here, or did KKR concede 10 or 20 runs extra?
I think 175 was say 15 runs over par. I think 160 would have been something like a par total over here, and I think they were on course of bringing them down till 160 until that Mavi over.
Yeah,
Not just that Mavi over, I think everything went wrong for them right from the start.
yeah.
Even though KL Rahul was dismissed for a diamond duck, the KKR bowlers early on just let the game go. According to me, the momentum just shifted towards Lucknow right from the second over, right from the start of the second over,
Yeah,
where he bowled the line and length was not at all satisfying.
yeah.
Harshit Rana playing his second game, given to bowl in the power play, was totally disappointing. Uh, I mean, it's still early, but the lines he was bowling, it was meant to be punished. I think KKR did not really have a choice because you can't replace somebody like a Umesh Yadav, somebody who has won 4 power play performer of the year this season, who has been in top notch form this power play.
Yeah,
He was one of the few things that was going right for KKR,
undoubtedly,
and
undoubtedly.
yeah, so he missed out due to an injury, and it was very unfortunate. And somebody like a Harshit Rana coming in and filling in his shoes were difficult. And also,
No,
I
let's
think
let's
the
let's
tactics.
leave that aside because Shivam Mavi today. I have a tactical decision which which baffles me yet again. When you don't have a Umesh Yadav kind of a bowler, could they have used Shivam Mavi like an Umesh Yadav, give him that opening burst because he's someone who can swing the ball early on. We've seen that with Shivam Mavi time and time again that he runs and he can bring the ball in. He's one of the rare commodities that who can bring the ball in sharply and which can put many batsmen in trouble. But giving him in death overs, is that a chance which is too much to take for KKR? Because Shivam Mavi has a very poor record in the death, isn't it?
Yeah, I think in the first over that he bowled, he was struggling with his line and length. That's why I think Shreyas Iyer decided to take him off. Obviously, they could have tried with him in the middle overs, but the way in which Quinton de Kock and Deepak Hooda were playing, it looked like Lucknow Super Giants were going to score somewhere close to 200.
Yeah,
So I think just to stem that run flow, I think Sunil Narayan was brought in and bowled a few overs in the middle overs. Even Anukul Roy came in, was ineffective today
yeah,
because in the last game we saw that he bowled brilliantly in the power play. I think probably that left-hander Decock going well in the power play. He was brought in for 1 over in the power play and he went for plenty. So I
right.
think he also did not turn out to like perform the way Iyer expected him to perform. So it was a harsh day with the ball. Also, I think KKR were making a magnificent comeback. I think things would have been different when
Right.
somebody like an Andrew Russell coming into bowl in the 13th over, there is a scope of him bowling out all his 4 overs,
Yeah,
and especially because he was bowling so well, because he was bowling tidily, he was using his variations of pace very well. The batters
right.
were finding it very difficult to score against him. If he was in such good rhythm, why take him out of the attack and give 2 overs to Shivam Mavi? I mean, with that 17th over that Shivam Mavi bowled, he considered just 7 runs. I think he had done his job. Russell bowled the 18th over. I think they had no point giving Mavi that 19th over again. They could have gone with Tim Saudi in the 19th, and Russell could have finished the innings in the 20th because he was being economical. He was also picking up wickets. So I think it was Russell's kind of day that he. It was a day for Russell when nobody performs. Russell does. Like the game in which against Gujarat Titans, we saw him come in the last over, pick up 4 wickets, score 40
Yeah,
odd runs, but the team
yeah.
was completely in a mess otherwise.
Yeah, but let's talk about this. I don't think bowling was where it was a letdown. Time and time again, it's been the batting department, and today it was 25 for 4. From 25 for 4, most teams don't recover, and it should be a miracle. And I would say Russell tried his very best to pull KKR through to some score, but towards the end, it was yet another collapse, which capitulated them to 101. Maybe at 25 for 4, you would have rather expected this. Just that Russell just went out there berserk, playing some of his shots. Can we now say that Shreyas Iyer is having a serious trouble with short ball? Because it's not a thing which has started right now. It's been for with him for last 3-4 years. Ballers have been targeting him. He's been getting out in same fashion again and again. He's an international quality player. He represents India in one day international and also in T20I. And he's someone who's been talked to be the next big thing in Indian cricket, especially limited overs cricket at least. What is happening with him? Why can't that be corrected? Because you have a coaching staff like Brendan McCullum, you have a David Assi to work with him, but still, there's nothing been corrected from any point of view. He's still getting out, he's still playing those shots, he's still scared to face 145 clicks balls, which is coming straight onto his body.
I think the movement that he makes, that shuffle across the stumps, coming outside the stump and then moving in, I think
Yeah,
that
I have a
movement he
question right
does.
there
Yeah,
because my analogy, I just want to put my analogy. You only make
yeah.
that shuffle when you're not sure to play a pull shot. And it just looks like this guy cannot pull the ball or hook the ball because he doesn't get into position. Number one, maybe he's too predominant on his front foot that he relies most of his shots on front foot. And you give him a ball and a good full length air, he'll drive you. He's as good a player as that. And that's one of the reasons why he's rated very highly as that. But the moment the ball just go a baller starts balling in 140 k straight into his body, he struggles because he cannot pull. All what he has got one release shot where he tries to go outside leg stump and tries to cut it. You've seen that that shot can be an absolute failure, and you look like an idiot if you get out to that shot.
Yeah, I mean that's the movement that he makes to counter that short pitch delivery. Like he's a very good player and he has some good mentorship going on. So I think he'll eventually come out of it. But at the moment, as you mentioned, that the ball that comes to his body with some pace, that short pitch ball is causing a lot of trouble. And even if you see today's dismissal, he was not able to like move away from the crease, make that
That's
movement,
exactly
and
my
the ball
question to
just
everybody at this
yeah.
point. it's been 3 years. It's not that he doesn't know his problem. He knows his problem. He's a player now who's batting number five for India, even in Test cricket. And in Test cricket, if you have such an issue, you cannot survive for any longer. You have seen that with best of players. When you have such a serious issue, why is it not corrected? Why is it prolonging for so long? Because at this point, KKR have invested heavily on him. They have gone to invest 12.25 crores just on him, just not as a captaincy material, also as a batsman who can score and give at least 400 to 500 runs a season. But he's not been able to do that because of his one weakness.
Yeah, I think the short pitch. It's one of the methods that he's adapting, the movement that he's making. It's to counter that short pitch delivery. I don't know exactly what is going on with him, because it's been 3 years, and you would expect that someone as classy as Shreyas Iyer should be able to counter that short pitch delivery by now. In Test, it is different because you can just duck the ball, you can just get out of the line of the ball. But in T20s, when especially you are chasing something like 177 and you have the scoreboard pressure going on, you did not have a very good start thanks to Baba Indrajit coming up the order. So yeah, if you did not have a very good start, you tend to get a bit like occupied by the situation. He probably meant to pull it, but again it hurried on to him, and he did not have enough time to pull or hook it for a 4 or 6. And eventually we saw that it was such a soft dismissal. And I
Yeah.
think the movement that he has been making has like forced a lot of bowlers to bowl a bit fuller to him, because they know that if the bowl short, like aiming at his body with that movement, he can just uppercut them, or just play the cross batted shot over
But that's
point
what I'm
for
trying to say.
boundaries.
We saw that with Umran Malik as well when Shreyas Iyer was batting. The field set was pretty clear. There was a deep point, there was a fine leg, there was a square leg, and also a backward point which was just set. Third man, it was just set for that particular shot. And the double bluffed him, ball a full length delivery. He got out. It just looked very bad. A batsman who's bats at number three getting out looking that awkward is very bad, because that's something what a tail ender would do. So now teams are just lining up for him. Today also you saw Chamira just being saved so that they could bring back Chamira to ball to Shreyas Iyer, and he fell for the same trap. We have seen that through the course of the IPL that he's falling. What can possibly Shreyas Iyer do from here on? Is it that he just waits that, okay, I'm expecting one bouncer? No, anyways, a bowler can only ball one bouncer. If he balls second one, it's going to be no ball. Just that he gets the mental block away and say that I'll take it on. Either I'll just wait for the bowler to ball that one bouncer and over, so that I don't play it at all. From there on, bowler has no option other than to ball full at me. What are the options what Shreyas Iyer has?
I think he'll look. See, he's a class player. He'll look, and he'll sort of do something about it. We can't sit over here and predict what he's going to do, because it's been not just for Shreyas Iyer. Mind you that other bowlers, for all the KKR batsmen, say somebody like a Nitish Rana, he has had his issues with the short ball. The one time where he makes room for himself and just uppercuts the ball over third man, that's the only time you think that okay, he puts his leg away, he has looked in good form against the short ball. Otherwise, if you ball at Nitish Rana's body, he is also very uncomfortable. Somebody like a Venkatesh Iyer is also very uncomfortable
Same
with the
thing with
short ball coming at
Andre
your body.
Russell as well.
Andrew Russell as well. Yeah, so it's just a pattern. I don't know how they were going to. It's, I think something got to do with the technique of putting their front foot out of
Yeah,
the way and just trying to hoik it. I think
yeah.
they have to get in line, like get in the line of the ball and try to pull it. That would be
I
a
think with
much
Andre Russell,
safer
it's
option.
just that his weight is completely on his front foot, and if
Yeah.
you look at his back lift as well, he's someone who relies on his power, who generates his power from the base. From there, he generates the power. If you look at his stance, what he tried to make a difference in BBL and from IPL 2019, in IPL 2019, he was a completely a base dominant who used to dominate on his front foot. And when he went to BBL, he tried to make a change in his back lift, but did not prove anything good for him. And he has come back to his old stance, which he used to do in 2019 over here. He's getting decent enough results, and that's what you can expect from Andre Russell as well. And he's doing a decent job for KKR. You cannot blame Andre Russell. That's what you want from your all rounder. But then I personally reckon this auction strategy of KKR was where this season has led them to where they are right now. Because auction strategy, they were really poor with their selections. I thought they could have been much more smarter in terms of picking the overseas buys at least. I know they went for Alex Sales, who had done exceedingly well in Asian conditions, but he did not turn up. At least I thought a replacement could have been a person who has done well, like someone like an Andre Fletcher, someone like a Lendl Simmons, who has done well in Asian conditions. Paul Sterling is a good enough example as well. They've all done well. You know, I wouldn't be even surprised if they're gone for something like David Visa, who's pretty good in all the conditions, who's is a good all-round option as well. But unfortunately, KKR are facing the wrath of many teams, and they are themselves to blame at this point because even the too many auction retentions are not even making the starting 11. It's not often you hear that, but maybe
I
next
think
season they can come back and return.
that's one of the major issues. The players that they retain, they are not performing. The players that they are experimenting with are not coming good.
Yeah,
So if you consider a lot of teams like, say, the new franchises like Gujarat Titans, they have been experimenting. Rahul Tewatia coming in at number 5 and winning games for them. Who would have thought about it at the start of the IPL?
yeah,
Who would have thought somebody like Rashid Khan will come in at number 7 and play those 40 of 21, 32 of 11 ball knocks and take his team home? Because
yeah,
these sort of things are unpredictable. It comes good, like it looks very good when it comes off well. For
yeah,
KKR, it's just not been coming off. The last game, I thought even they were going to like get that last game against Rajasthan Royals slip. It was a miracle how Rinku Singh and Nitish Rana saved the bruises and continued. But again today, I felt when Andrew Russell was going well, Rinku Singh was finding it very difficult to rotate the strike. I think that scoreboard pressure got to him, and then he had
yeah.
to take that chance against Ravi Bishnoi. I think
Right.
KKR were well in the game with 108 required of 9 overs. Given that Andrew Russell was going very well, Rinku Singh just had to like give himself some more time, just play out another, say another 1 or 2 overs, and take the game deep. When you
Yeah.
know that you have a batting lineup as like what to say, not they have a deep batting lineup when it comes to paper, but most of them are inexperienced. You don't expect Shivam Mavi and Anukul Roy to win you games, even if 8 or 9 runs are required per over. Even though they are registered bowling all rounders, but they haven't played any such knocks to show their potential. And I think Mavi has, I think, got enough chances by now. He has been playing for KKR for the last 3 4 years. Obviously, he has been coming in and going off. Again, the three most expensive overs bowled by a KKR has been by Shivam Mavi. He is just failing to keep overcome the pressure. Whenever he is facing pressure, he is just bowling those poor lines. That
No,
after,
you can't
even after
blame him as
dismissing
well
Stoinis.
because he has been not given that backing. He's been not been given that consistent spot in the 11. So he is insecure. He's not given that proper backing that he doesn't know whether he's going to be there in the lineup for next game or not. And you saw them being experimenting with Harshad Rana, Rashik Salam. These lads have never been in
Aman
KKR
Khan.
setup, but then someone like Shivam Mavi has been part of the setup for last 4 years. And when other players who have just joined the setup who gets that extra backing, as a player you feel insecure. And that's something what you're seeing from Shivam Mavi as well. But having said about that, let's talk about Lucknow Super Giants in brief before we talk about the game which happened earlier today. Lucknow Super Giants are well looking as a championship contender at this point, isn't it? Because their squad balance is just phenomenal. They're able to get players step up at different positions in different situations, and as a bowling unit as well. You have an Avesh Khan who's in tremendous form. You have a Mohsin Khan. You have Jason Holder who came in today to clean up the tail as well. Is it something what That's something what you see from a championship unit. Do you reckon at this point of time in the IPL, Lucknow are the favorites to clinch it?
Yeah, I think I'll still say that Lucknow is a very good team, but Lucknow is still one specialist batsman short. You can't like they have been proving me wrong, but so far the only batters that have been contributing consistently for them have been KL Rahul, Quinton de Kock, and Deepak Huda. That's just their top three. In a game where the top three fails, we have seen Ayush Badoni come in and Deepak Huda come in, play those small, long innings, but they have not managed to win. Somebody like Ayush Badoni should be given the opportunity to come in at number 4. I still feel that. Instead of bringing in all-rounders like Marcus Stoinis and Kunal Pandya in at number 4, number 5, you should still try and give Ayush Badoni the chance at number 4, because it's still now they have almost ensured themselves a qualification, and I think they have also ensured themselves a top 2 finish, because probably the only team that can overtake them is Rajasthan Royals and Gujarat Titans, obviously, so they can still come third. But I think they are pretty much in a safe place right now. So if the top order batsman fails, I feel that Ayush Badoni should be given more chance, because they are so bowling heavy. Somebody like a Jason Holder does not even have to complete his quota of 4 overs. Somebody like a Krunal Pandya, who has been absolutely phenomenal this season, with his economy rates, not going for over say I think his economy rate is something close to
Yeah.
6.5 or
I'm just looking at
6.4.
that. I'm
This
just
is
looking at Ravi Bishnoi has not had the best of IPL. I'm just reading out the stats because even today he went for 30 runs, he just picked up one wicket. It's not like Ravi Bishnoi who started off the IPL. Teams are able to find him out pretty well. But then at this point of stage, I find Lucknow Super Giants as a bowling attack, they're well rounded. They've got different bowlers stepping in at different positions. No team is perfect in this IPL. Let it be the number one team in Gujarat, let it be Rajasthan, let it be Lucknow. But then if you compare all the teams, what I'm trying to say is that Lucknow looks the best out of all because
Yeah,
after the
Lucknow
Mega
definitely
auction,
has
there are a lot of
a
players who
very
come with them.
balanced lineup. Yeah,
Yeah,
definitely they have a very balanced lineup. We even spoke about it that Lucknow and probably a Rajasthan Royals, if they could have somehow strengthened their batting order a bit, these are the two teams with the right balance. They have the right bowlers, they have the right batsmen for every situation, and just that they are playing one better shot, according to me, one
absolutely.
specialist batsman shot. It's not been causing them any trouble because whatever scores the batsmen are putting up, the bowlers have been able to come in and defend that. They are on a winning streak. They have won the last 4 games right now, so they are flying high on confidence. All the fast bowlers have been coming good for them. Somebody like a Dushmanta Chamira bowling those 2-3 overs early on, giving nothing away. Even if he's not picking up too many wickets, he's not giving anything away to the opposition. He's being very economical. And then a Jason Holder coming in at the death in the middle overs. They also have Avesh Khan and Mohsin Khan. Like I mean, these two have been. Avesh Khan was a sensation the last time as well for Delhi Capitals, but Mohsin Khan, what a turnaround he has been coming in as a replacement for Avesh Khan and now just having fixated his place. I think with 9 wickets in 5 games and the economy rate and 2 maiden overs in 5 games, it's not very common in IPL.
Absolutely, absolutely. I mean, you have to give credit to this young left-arm pacer because he's impressed everybody through the course of the IPL. Let's talk about the game which happened earlier today. It was between Punjab Kings and the Rajasthan Royals. After posting 189, Punjab would have felt pretty comfortable, but then Josh Butler just got himself going against Rabada in that particular over. That's where I believe the momentum was set on. But Yashasvi Jaiswal, who was making a comeback, what a knock did he play? He just looked like he was always there. He was a player in top form. He just took on the bowling attack. It was his home ground, of course, and he totally relished playing in that situation, isn't it? What did you make of Yashasvi Jaiswal and how big a factor was he in today's victory?
Yeah, I had already said in the preview that look out for Yashasvi Jaiswal. He's coming in, and also I said look out for Besto. He has
Yeah,
been finally getting that opening slot and coming in to bat first, especially because Punjab Kings won the toss and decided to bat first. I was quite confident that he would come good. Uh, yeah, Yashasvi Jaiswal has been a find. I think he after Butler smoked Rabada for 20 runs before getting dismissed. I think that shifted the momentum towards Rajasthan's favor, and even Sanju Samson came in and played a short cameo.
yeah.
Yashasvi Jaiswal just kept going. I think Devdutt Padikkal found it very difficult to get going, and I think if Rajasthan would have lost from there, they would have been kicking themselves for sending in Devdutt Padikkal ahead of Shimran Hetmyer at that stage.
Right.
But again, because Yashasvi Jaiswal was already playing the anchor from one end, he was scoring the runs quickly, but he was also playing an anchor. He was
Hmm.
playing throughout the innings because whoever was coming into bat from the other end was going for the shots. So I felt somebody like a Riyan Parag or Shimran Hetmyer could have come in ahead of Devdutt Padikkal at that situation. But again, Devdutt Padikkal has proved time and time again that he can accelerate really quickly. It was good to see that
That's my
he took
question
his team
actually.
home.
Devdutt Padikkal, if this knock would have gone anywhere else, if this team would have ended up losing, all the blame would have been on Devdutt Padikkal because he's getting stuck there and he's batting way out of his position. Number four is not a position I don't think he's ever batted that position. You reckon still David Padikkal should be possibly batting at number three at least? Because now, even opening the batting, you know that he has consumed the most number of dot balls, which is 47% of his dot balls. And is particularly most of his runs, whenever he scores runs, he should come in the power play because he had the ability to pierce the gaps, chip one over the long on, chip one over the mid on, chip one over long mid off. Just rotate himself, be there. But moment power play gets over, he used to be always vulnerable because not some of the one of the players who could just accelerate through the middle overs, and that's been exposed even more. Him coming at number four, coming through the middle overs. Because if we look at that innings today, he was 21 of 25 in a situation where team needed almost 10 runs per over. Is that something which you expect out of Devdutt Padikkal, or is that something which Rajasthan are looking to just fit him in that position because they have no other option? They're
I
probably going to use
think,
him as a
yeah.
floater. Yeah, go
Yeah,
ahead.
I think they have three openers fighting for that top two spot. Butler is fixed, so they basically have two left-handed openers fighting for that one spot. Devdutt Padikkal was given a fair amount of opportunities. We saw he had 200-run opening partnerships with Butler on flat decks. But
Yeah,
again, in the last two games that Rajasthan lost, he got out very early. He got out cheaply, and even Butler did not get going. So I think they thought that let's try Jaiswal again. Uh, let's see if he like gets the momentum going. And I think now they're going to stick with Jaiswal for the upcoming games. I
yeah,
think Devdutt Padikkal will come in at number three, given the match situation. Mostly, if say Jaiswal gets out early, they might bring in Devdutt Padikkal to maintain that left hand right hand combination. Also, I feel given that match situation, Josh Butler is an explosive player, somebody with a strike rate, career strike rate of close to somebody with a career strike rate close to 150. So we
yeah,
know that he is very explosive at the top. He got out trying to accelerate. That is the reason I feel that Sanju Samson came in ahead of Devdutt Padikkal, because he is more like a player, like he has a strike rate closer to Butler than uh, that Devdutt Padikkal has, because
yeah.
he thought that he can take on the spinners after the power play is done. Once Rahul Chahar comes in, he can take on the spinners and say even Livingston. So he fancied himself according to the match situation. I think if they would have lost that first wicket very early, and probably if Jaiswal would have got out, Devdutt Padikkal would have come in at number three. And I think that's the way to go about it, because Jaiswal, we have seen that he was suffering at number three.
Yeah.
But Devdutt Padikkal, they can try Devdutt Padikkal at number three, because he scored some 40 odd runs in the two. Got an innings of 40 in that 2 or 3 innings that he got to play as number three. So I think he can be tried out at number three depending on the match situation. And I
Right.
think with Devdutt Padikkal coming in the middle order, I think their batting has strengthened quite a bit. I would still like to see somebody like a Vander Dussen come in. Uh, in because they are just playing the three foreign players, so
Yeah.
they can still go for that extra batting option instead of any one of the players, Indian players, like
Yeah.
somebody like a Riyan Parag can sit down, because he had one good game. He was given one good opportunity. He converted it. I think that cemented his place for now. But
I reckon
I
someone
think
like a
somebody
Vander
like
Dussen can come instead of Devdutt Padikkal, because Devdutt Padikkal is not
yeah,
contributing to anything much, or even a Jimmy
yeah,
Nation can come
definitely,
because they
yeah.
banked
Even
Riyan
Jimmy
Parag
Nisham, I
so
was going
much.
to say that. Yeah,
I don't think they'll drop
they
Riyan Parag at any stage because he's an excellent fielder. And you know that after that knock against RCB, they even back me even more. And he has come in those positions, even against KKR, he came in, though not play some of the best knocks. But yeah, he can come in and hit the long ball. Maybe they're looking him even as a number four option. You never know. Because for Assam, he bats in number three, number four. He takes
I think
Assam
that
out
would
of
be
the
the right way
deep
to go
trouble.
about it.
Yeah,
I think that
that's
would be the
possible.
way to go about it,
Right.
because Devdutt Padikkal or Yashasvi Jaiswal, either of the two can give in. Like one of them will
Yeah.
come up the order at and open the innings with Josh Butler, Sanju
Yeah.
Samson coming in at number three, somebody like a Riyan Parag coming in at number four, or say a Shimran Hetmar depending on the match situation.
Yeah.
And then at number six you have Jimmy Nisham, and seven Ashwin. I think that will be a better approach, because we saw that Rajasthan Royals, if Riyan Parag, if you consider Riyan Parag as the sixth bowling option, it's not much, because whenever he has come down to ball, he has gone for plenty. The
Even
batting
Yashasvi
team
can
has,
turn his arm over. So it is not like they actually need a six bowling option. They can either bring in a James Neesham who's not at the best of IPL records, but you know what he can possibly bring to the table. On a good day, he can take a bowler for 20 runs and an over, be that X factor player in your team who can make all the difference. You never know. It could be in a crunch moment in the playoffs. It could be any time in the tournament. So it's the right time to blood in someone like a James Neesham, or even you can go to a Daryl Mitchell. He can also offer you with the ball. But then there should be a continuity which you are giving with Riyan Parag with other players as well. I
I
still
think
believe,
Daryl Mitchell has
yeah.
got his fair share of opportunities. He did not come good. You expect that foreign player to like come good in the 2 or 3 games that he played. I think he just
But I still
simply
think
just
someone better than
yeah,
David Patil is what I'm looking at. David Patil is batting out of his position
yeah.
in
I
the
I
just
think
it won't be justice on him as well. You're judging him based on a position which he doesn't bat, and I really don't think he has got that gameplay to come in those situations and take the ballers on. You would only be judging him in a wrong manner most of the days. And let's take it out from a team's perspective. What is the best? Him not playing is the best possible option. You can bring in like a Rossi Van Rosen. He's got tremendous strike rate against spin. He's a quality player against spin. You always know that, and he can take on the pacers as well. So someone who has got that reputation can possibly come in. Let's talk about Punjab's strategy today. Let's get away from last time for a while, but they were doing most of the things right through the course of the game because Bairstow came good. Mayank Agarwal batting in that position, maybe that's what they're looking out of him. Rajapaksa played that cameo. Uh, but last over to Rahul Chahar, did you expect that? Because I know it was just 7 runs, but it was more like a strategy where you already gave up because they didn't trust someone like a Rishi Dhawan. You never know. Yesterday, same thing would happen to the Daniel Sams. Couple of slower ball. If
Yeah.
you'd have got Hetmai's wicket there, anything would have happened, isn't it?
Yeah, I was about to come to that point because I think they simply missed a trick because we know Rishi Dhawan can be absolutely phenomenal with the ball. He has been doing a very decent job with the ball for Punjab Kings.
Yeah,
If your fifth bowling option is just considering some 25, 27 runs in his quota of 4 overs, he has done a very good job,
yeah,
according to me. And Rishi Dhawan can also give you that handy runs with the bat at number 7,
yeah,
which we saw in the last game where they lost.
yeah,
Like he tried though, but again in this game as well, he came in at number 7 and hit that boundary of the first ball that he played. So I
yeah,
think they could have tried him in the last over instead of Rahul Chahar. Uh, Also, I think Liam Livingston gave away just the 6 runs in the 1 over that he bowled. I
yeah,
think they could have got another over out of him at that stage, possibly there. But I think otherwise, Punjab Kings they will obviously be disappointed because it was a very important game for them. Now
yeah,
their position looks a bit unstable because now 4 teams will be fighting for potentially only that one spot, only the fourth position. So I think it was a very important game for them. But I think if you talk about tactical decision wise, I think they got most of their things right. The batting came off well. Shikhar Dhawan did
Yet
not
again, let's
come good for them.
appreciate
Yeah,
the left arm pacer Arshdeep Singh. What a
yeah,
phenomenal 19th over. If this game would have been won, I know he deserves that man of the match if they would have won it. But then, unfortunately, but time and time again, that temperament to really deliver those Yorkers with perfection. Over before that, he was strong for 11 runs where he was hit on that shorter boundary by Hetmeyer. But then he changed his plans. He wanted to ball those wide Yorkers and he was landing it with absolute precision. It was like just given the dot and where the shooters are shooting right at point blank. You have to give credit. I believe an India call up is very near for him. I rate him way more highly than someone like Natarajan because I believe he's got age on his side. He's injury free so far. He's got pace. He's much more smarter. And maybe you never know. In a couple of years' time, you could be leading your pack in T20 format at least.
yeah. I think he's a very good. He has been a very good find for Punjab Kings over the years. Uh, he has been flying way under the radar this season because he has not been picking up those wickets. But you have to understand that he has brought given chances to Punjab Kings from absolutely nothing.
Yeah.
In the game against Gujarat Titans, Punjab Kings were completely done and dusted before his spell of 2 overs in the 17th and the 19th over. He has been absolutely phenomenal for them at the end. He got 2 wickets today, rightly deserved. I think he deserves way many more wickets in this season than what he has to show uh, right now. But I think he'll come good for them. Eventually, he'll be getting those wickets as well.
Yeah.
It's just that nobody has been able to apply the same sort of pressure that he has been applying at the death. Rabada has been going for runs in the death overs. That's been a problem for them. Even though Rabada picked up 8 wickets in the last 2 games, today also he picked up 1 wicket, the crucial wicket of Butler. But he has been going for way too many runs at the death overs, and
Mhm.
that has been that has allowed the teams to play somebody like a Arshdeep Singh out. Also, you
Yeah.
don't have any choice against Arshdeep because he's been bowling so well. It's very hard to get on to him. So I think it's just that he's not getting the proper support from the other end at the death overs.
Yeah.
Otherwise, he would have had completely different figures. I
Yeah.
think he is someone who deserves 17 wickets this season, 18 wickets this season, rather than
Right.
Rabada. Nothing taking nothing away from Rabada. But
Yeah,
I think he
exactly.
has been phenomenal for Punjab Kings. He has been their best bowler this season by
Absolutely, and
far.
it's all good news for India because another left arm player are doing exceedingly well.
Yeah.
Before that, how do you see Rabada? Because Rabada has been blowing hot and cool. Some of the games he's performed exceedingly well. Some of the games he's been way below par as well. Today he had responsibility on his hands to deliver a good over, but he failed. He was not landing his lengths properly. What has happened to him?
See, Rabada, when you talk about somebody like Rabada, you expect wickets. And I think he has been doing his part of the job. He has picked up 18 wickets in 10 games. It's just that this time around, at the death overs, he's not being able to bowl those Yorkers properly. He's going for a lot of runs. He's having trouble in varying his pace. And becoming a bit predictable with the line and length that he's bowling. So I think the batsmen are just targeting him because it's not possible the way Arshdeep is bowling. It's not possible to target him from the other end. And Sandeep Sharma and Rahul Chahar. If you think about them, they are not the best bowlers when it comes to that overs. So the only other option that they have is Rishi Dhawan, and we have seen that they have completed Rishi Dhawan's quota of overs within the first 16 or 17 overs. So it's just Rabada and Arshdeep at the end, and Rabada has just not been coming good for them at the death overs. I think he's not being
Yeah.
able to execute his plans properly at the death, but he
Yeah.
has had a very good season. If you talk about picking up wickets, he has picked up 18 wickets in 10 games, which is very good in terms of a pacer.
Yeah. Coming to you, as we know about what happened in the match, let's talk about what happened off the field. Let's talk about the fantasy side of things. Sandipani, how did your day go in the fantasy field? Did it go like a proper lemonade kind of a day where you aced it, or did you have an iffy day?
Yeah, I had another lemonade kind of a day. Hopefully, I would have traded it for KKR winning, but it did not. It was not meant to be. I won all my contests because in the first game I had Bairstow. I had Bairstow in my team as vice captain. A very bold call, but I had a gut feeling that he would go on to perform.
Yeah.
And Butler was my captain, and all the other. I had Jaswal in my team. So yeah, all the players kicked in, and even in the second game, I had Andrew Russell as my captain. Uh,
Absolutely.
because I thought that he would be needed because in the last game he was not at all needed.
Yeah.
A lot of players went with Shreyas Iyer as their vice captain and KL Rahul as their captain. But I took that gamble. I had an intuition that Umesh Yadav with the ball will be lethal to KL Rahul. Not meant to be. Umesh Yadav did not play the game, but KL Rahul did not score anyway.
Yeah,
So
that
good,
was an
good day
unfortunate
for me.
disappointment, and I had KL as my captain, and I was pretty shattered when he got
You won
out.
45% of the population playing.
Yeah, but nonetheless, I should be more brave, I think, in taking my calls as captaincy, especially in grand leagues. Having said that, guys, thank you for joining. I know it was a long live session. We discussed about two games, of course, about KKR because Sandipani is a passionate KKR fan. He loves his team so much. And of course, you heard the rant as well as a proper analysis on what has been downfall of KKR. Alongside that, we also spoke of Punjab and Rajasthan also flying high alongside Lucknow. Stay tuned with us and play our fantasy contest on Boom 11 because this IPL you can win prizes worth up to $5,000 playing for absolute free of cost. So don't miss out on that chance. Get onto the Boom 11 app right now. The link is on the bio. Click on it, play it for free, challenge your friends because the bragging rights is totally with you. And having said that, guys, follow us on Instagram and Twitter because on Twitter we'll be doing our spaces where we'll be having Sandipani, Jones, Crick Crazy Nicks to join us. And of course, on YouTube, we'll be coming live after every game. So why would you miss out on that chance either? And also, we'll be giving some fantasy tips in the name of the top 5 fantasy picks on our Instagram and Twitter. So you can make a team, by listening to our tips. We properly bring the data and we break it down as to why you should be choosing these players. So have a good night. And if you're a night rider, have a tough night, of course. Bye
Yeah,
bye.
it's a tough day to
Happy
keep
winning.
smiling when Knight Riders is playing like this.
Yes, of course. I
Yeah.
think Night Riders will have better nights, maybe
Uh,
going forward in future years, if not at least
I
now.
think they're almost certainly out of it. And you
Yeah,
haven't heard my rant. I haven't been ranting about them. I've just been humble to them right now.
yeah. I think you should start ranting more often, Sandeep. Bye bye.
Yeah, yeah. Bye bye, bye bye. Have a nice one.